Once again, I'm John, I'm here at Megabots, and we're checking on the Mark III robot, Eagle Prime. Check this out. This is what we're looking at today. And the most interesting part of this robot today is what I've got right here on the right arm. It is a giant steel sharpened knife, about 500 pounds, attached to the arm of a 430 horsepower giant fighting robot. This particular knife is made of ASTM A572 grade steel. It is a 55 to 60,000 pounds per square inch yield rating, which is almost twice as much as the normal steel you would find just out at a normal steel yard. Let's keep walking around, and you know what? I've got some of the team here with me. This right here is Zach. He's one of the newest members of our team. He's an electrical technician.
Alright.
And really quickly learning exactly what a giant fighting robot is made out of.
Yeah, there's a lot of wires. There's a lot of zip ties.
We've also got Micah here. Micah is a machinist extraordinaire. Some of you may recognize him from BattleBots fame, the famous driver of Micah, tell us about BattleBots.
BattleBots for Season 1, we were Team Rex, and for Season 2, we were Team Scorpios.
Excellent.
Orion and I were on the same team, and now we're bitter rivals of robot fighting.
What is that you're holding right there in your hand?
This is the emergency E-stop.
And why do you hold that?
I'm the last line of defense. If the robot goes out of control, smack down on this, and it stops dead.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Micah. I think we heard some talk from up in the cockpit there. You can see Tim, who is one of our brave mech pilots. Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Tim's the driver, and sitting right in front of him is Orion, who's the gunner. Tim is going to be operating the robot track, so moving the robot around to wherever it needs to go.
And the legs.
And the legs, stand up and down. And Orion's job is the weapons, the arms and the torso. So he's the one who's ultimately responsible for doing the most damage.
I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about what you're training for today.
Okay.
Mikey, could you upload this thing? So, hi Twitch, hi YouTube. Basically what we're doing today is we are seeing Eagle Prime's training for a Megabots live event this Sunday. So Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, we're gonna have Eagle Prime and Iron Glory go head to head. Live, like you'll get to see it the second we get to see it. It's not pre-recorded. It's Eagle Prime with a giant knife fighting Iron Glory. It's remote controlled. It has its own melee combat weapon, which will be showing you on Thursday's stream at 4 p.m. Pacific time. But set your calendars for this Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, because we're gonna see what it looks like when these two robots go head to head. We don't know what's gonna happen. Eagle Prime, 12 tons, has a knife. Knife is too dangerous to use against a human piloted Megabot. So that's what we're setting up. Iron Glory, it's 6 tons. It'll have its own melee weapon, which is designed to disable Eagle Prime. We'll see how well that works. Micah and Miles are on Team Iron Glory. Orion and Tim are on Team Eagle Prime. Micah and Miles are trying to be a little bit tricksy. They're trying to figure out how to disable Eagle Prime without destroying it completely. Trixie, like, like that. And the cool thing is, like, yes, Iron Glory is half as heavy. Yes, Iron Glory has much less in the way of weapons and armor, but we don't have anybody in it, right? So the act of disabling Iron Glory, a 6-ton robot that stands 15 feet tall, there's only certain points you can hit. You can like knock it over, you can stab it in the engine, you can stab it just right in one of the arms, and maybe that'll take it out, but otherwise it should just keep on going. So Eagle Prime has a lot of hoses, it has a lot of wires. Maybe Iron Glory can hook them and take them out. We don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like yet. Place your bets, right? You'll see Eagle Prime today in the training they're doing today, and you'll see Iron Glory next on our next stream on Thursday. We have our 2 new pilots in training. Ryan Beach here. We have Tim. So just wanted to talk to you guys about like the duel, about what it was like, what Eagle Prime is capable of doing, and what modes you have to be in to do it. Just to kind of like, I don't know, talk through some strategy. So both of you guys just started piloting. Tim's been piloting for a little bit longer. He helped us out in the run-up to Maker Faire, but now it's like you're doing this like your job.
Yeah. No, my job is like mech test pilot, and you know it was a lot of tests because like a lot of how I use the robot is very delicate, and I try to be very discreet when I do things because that's like test pilot methodology. Like you want if there's issues, you want to isolate them and figure them out. But this is going to be very different because it's going to be a lot of things at once, and we're trying to win a fight versus trying to replicate a failure or test a performance limit. So it's gonna. I think the most important thing is that me and Orion get lots of seat time because even though we control different parts of the robot, a lot of what I do in the back has to be very closely coordinated with what he does to make sure the robot doesn't stall or shut down or go into a dangerous state or hit itself. So because it's totally able to do those things, and all those things will allow basically Iron Glory to just basically poke us with that horrible weapon.
We're talking about that on Thursday.
Okay. I've just seen drawings.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You have punches available to you.
Yeah.
At least one punch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a jab a little bit. The body turns and the point turns. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit circular. So I'd love to see you guys start with that because that's like your most reliable. You can push the button, it does the thing safely, right? Safely. Yeah. It stabs with the 500-pound knife safely, okay, guys?
Safely something like that.
It is unlikely to catch on itself during that animation.
Yes. And then past that, there's task space. So for Twitch and YouTube, task space is basically where the point of the knife is mapped to the joystick. So if you push the joystick forward, the point moves exactly forwards. If you turn the joystick, the point of the knife moves up. If you move the joystick to the left and right, the point of the knife moves left and right. So it's slower, but if you like have your opponent grasped, right? This is what we did when we like grabbed Kuratas and we were like punching with the cannon and then later the chainsaw. You have full control over that, right? You can drag the point forwards and backwards. You can stab with it. It's not going to be as fast, but it's also each cylinder produces 40,000 pounds of force, so like it'll go through something.
Yeah. So we could like grab them, say, with one and like
stab with the
other.
Yeah, I mean, like, grab him by like this collar and just kind of like the Joker on Batman's parents or something.
Oh, dang.
Jesus.
Dude, that got dark.
Too dark.
And then the final thing, if we do have time, there are two more moves. One is putting the knife into a position with task space, and then just using torso twist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if you back up a little bit, you should be able to get a pretty good swing.
Oh, right, because we go really far back.
Yeah, it's our fastest actuator, right? But with this mass, it does take some time to build up. So you
really got to twist part.
Yeah.
And torso twist is easily the scariest one for the people in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yep. And then after that, we do have the ability to do an uppercut. I think that's like the last move because it's absolutely the riskiest move. You could like cleave parts of the track base in half if you uppercut in the wrong way.
Okay.
So we'll maybe talk you through that particular move.
Right, so is that...
That's Tim.
Right.
Tilts over.
Right.
You draw back and then punch while tilted over. And then he stands back up when you reset.
But all the leg movements that I make are manual.
Okay.
They're at the joystick app.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going through the same animation and just hoping that I clear all the things.
Correct. Yep. We got any questions? Would you make a hammer? Yeah, we'd make a hammer. That sounds awesome. Sounds like Eagle Prime could tip itself over with a bad swing. Eagle Prime cannot tip itself over with a bad swing. Most of Eagle Prime's weight is in its base. The knife is only like 500 pounds.
It's actually one of the lighter things.
Yeah, it's one of the lighter things that we can put on the robot. But yeah, let me get the camera set up. John, why don't you ask these guys a couple more questions or ask them from the chat, and then I'm gonna put the locked off cameras in place, and we'll get ready for the punching action.
Great. That sounds
Don't
awesome.
fall off the stair car.
Don't fall off the stair car. Hi guys.
Hey, John.
How about a few questions from the Twitch stream?
Sure. All right.
Let's see. Oh, guys, well, what are your call signs? Tim, start with you.
Spicy Tim. That's just what I've been getting called lately.
And Orion.
I don't have a call sign yet.
Orion may be a little too new so far, so
It's supposed to be derogatory and imposed on you, and we haven't worked with Orion enough to hate him yet, so no call sign yet.
Yep.
let's see. Either one of you have any prior piloting experience? I know, Orion, we talked to you a little bit about working for BattleBots and doing smaller fighting robots.
Yeah, so I've done BattleBots and Robo games. I've built 2 different robots for BattleBots and done testing and driving for that. I do have a BattleBots winner's pog at home from winning a Rumble match against an Australian robot and a Canadian robot. If you go look it up on YouTube, it's BattleBots Scorpios, and that'll get you there.
Spicy Tim!
I played a lot of MechWarrior 2 back in the 90s. The
we
one
should talk
carryover is that heat management is a huge part of driving the robot. That's about it.
So I guess the bottom line is that we don't have any experienced giant fighting robot pilots because they don't really exist yet. We're
Yeah.
starting off. So the 2 best guys we got so far, we got a guy who used to drive smaller robots around for a living and apparently plays hockey with them.
Yeah.
We also got a guy who really, he's just kind of a jack of all trades. I think we got him from the
You guys got me from King Middle School in Berkeley.
Berkeley public school system, where he was an unbelievable teacher and he's had a change of heart for his career and now he pilots giant fighting robots for a living.
I get kids, but robots make more sense.
So what we've got here is the punching bag that we're going to be using to test our giant knife. We'll call it a punching bag, but really it's more of a pin cushion or chopping block, knife block. But you see Rob and Zach here, they're rigging up a car. We've got it suspended from a crane for now. Take a look at how we've got this rigged up here. What you can see is we've got a car chained to our wheeled tower. Now this tower is going to keep the car in place while Eagle Prime unloads on it. Hey, just out of curiosity, how dumb an idea do you think this is?
Great idea.
It looks like our test tower is in position. Drive safe mode and is now rotating the track base.
You're right.
Our spot in 5,
bring the stair car over and let people can't talk to the pilot. All right, guys, that was awesome.
Okay.
You guys did a great job. So, Orion, that was the first time anyone has ever attacked a car with a giant knife from a giant fighting robot. How did it feel?
It felt pretty good. I'll say the animation that, that it does is really like out of my control. So I'm just basically hitting these two buttons, kind of like a big video game. And so once I hit right button 4 here, I just kind of like brace on the roll cage as we like, when you see that hip-yaw move, that's Tim and I like spinning inside the robot, and then we impact, and everything shakes inside just as much as you think it does.
Yeah, it is not smooth. It's pretty it's nuts. Like, you just kind of feel the impact. You're watching everything through the monitors, and it doesn't feel very real.
Yeah.
Until like you hit something and there's a very physical jarring response inside the cockpit.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of the Twitch viewers and kind of viewers in general, they see this happening, and they're wondering why it's not faster and why it doesn't look like you could just walk right up and just punch a thing and then walk away. Can you kind of explain why there are pauses in the middle? And
Okay, so one of the things is it's really hard to tell what the robot is going to actually do when it goes through its motion. Like, you can kind of get a sense of where the tip is going to end up, but it swings through a really big arc, and from inside here, it's actually kind of hard to see.
Tim, tell us about your costume.
My costume? Oh, it's yeah, I got this in Japan at the Duel. I traded Karada-san one of my green work shirts for it. I guess they have a lot of merch. I mean, I was kind of surprised that they brought it to the Duel. We didn't bring any swag to sell, but like, yeah, it's just got like the Tsutobashi logo on the back, and it's pretty cool. It's a little big. I mean, if you're not used to wearing jumpsuits, I'm used to kind of like short sleeve work shirt and things that generally don't get caught up in a lathe when you reach over it. But yeah.
That's awesome.
So I wore it for Halloween.
Well, very cool. I think you guys did a great job. That's awesome. Yeah, anything else you want to say? Like, I don't know.
The robot seems to be a lot more stable than it was earlier in the week, and so like I'm hopeful we can get some meaningful practice time in and really get good at coordinating motion. We'll get the intercom back in so we can have some meaningful conversation between driver operator, and make so that there's not a lot of inching up on stuff, getting pausing for a long time and then doing it.
Yeah, because that's been kind of an issue in the past, right? Communication between the two of you. You guys need to be talking pretty closely so that you can do these combined motions. And we understand, I mean, nobody's really had a whole lot of experience piloting giant robots. But yeah, once you guys get a better communication system down, you think things will go smoother, go a little better?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I didn't realize at first is how up close and personal we're going to be with the Mark II during the fight. Like, I don't know if you saw how close we were, like, track-base wise, with the Mark III to the Tower of Death and Corolla, which is kind of our Mark II sized punching bag. But we're going to be, like, kind of nose-to-nose duking it out. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's that's really insane. Like, my favorite pictures from the Duel were like when the fight ended, and like the rope and Karadas and Eagle Prime were just like nose to nose. We had to pull them apart, and when I got in the cockpit to like back them out, that was crazy how the fist was just right there in front of the cockpit's face. Like,
yeah. I'd say one of the wilder moments that we had today was when I was trying to do the knife kind of like chopping motion. So I was in task space mode and I was driving the claw or the knife tip up, and I got it into a position where it looked like if I just went down it would be good, but some of the joints were kind of at their max travel, and so all I could do, like when I was just trying to move around to get out of that space, was move the knife back and forth, and I moved the knife closer, so that's shoulder yaw, and the knife came very clearly into view of both Tim and I through the front glass. So that was That was exciting.
If I can see something out the window, it is close. Back here.
Yeah,
It
because
is-
Tim's like blocked off here and there and by the bars, and so like if I bring the arm into where Tim can see it, it's pretty close. Something that we mentioned earlier is that we can hit ourselves, so that's like something that we have to be as expert operators, not hitting the cockpit or the hydraulic lines or the track base. You know, we don't want to chop the tracks off the thing or anything like that.
Absolutely. Well, good. I'll let you guys get out. I know you're hot and tired, and you probably need a break, so we'll come back down. Happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks for watching our stream. Make sure to visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.